Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Ajnantimidandasya Jnananjanachalakaya Chakshurun militam jena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Vanshakalpatarubhyascha Kripa sindubhya eva cha patitanam bhavanibhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Namo mahabharanyaya Krishna prema pradayate Krishnaya Krishna chaitanya namane gaudatveshe namaha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabhandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye. Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Shrivasadi Gaura Bhakta Brinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. I am very grateful to be with all of you today, Bhaktivedanta manner, to celebrate Janmashtami, the appearance day of the Supreme Lord as he appeared Krishna. Historically, 5,000 years ago, Krishna in his original transcendental form appeared within this world. My beloved Guru Maharaj, Srila Prabhupada, he would tell us that Krishna is within our heart. And in reciprocation to the sincerity of our devotion, Krishna can appear to us every day throughout eternity. Ishvara sarvabhutanam hriddeshe arjuna tishtati. That the absolute truth, the Supreme Lord, the source of everything that exists, is seated within the heart of every living being, is the witness, and ultimately reciprocates by revealing himself according to our desire. Everyone is looking for pleasure. The Vedanta Sutra tells us, Anandamayo Bhyashat. This is something that wherever there is life, we all have this in common. We are seeking pleasure and we are trying to avoid anything that interferes with that pleasure, which is called pain. This body and this mind are by nature temporary. The Gita says, dukkhalayam ashashvatam. And therefore, to find the pleasure we are seeking through this body and mind can never satisfy the soul. The soul is seeking the eternal love of God that is within us. Forgetful of that love, we're trying to substitute it with the temporary pleasures of this world, which have a beginning and an end, and all sorts of vulnerabilities in between. The Supreme Lord descends into this world simply to remind us of what we have forgotten. What is the real treasure of our heart? What is it that we really want? In the Gita, Krishna tells, Abrahma bhavana loka punar avatanorjana mamupetya tukontya punar janmana vidyate. That whatever situation we make in this world, from the highest planet down to the lowest, they're all places where birth, old age, disease, and death are inevitable. And it's one philosophy to just accept this as a reality and try to make the best of it. But the great scriptures, the great saints, the great avatars have taught us that there's something beyond that this human form of life can give us. Atato Brahma Jigyasa. We are eternal, full of knowledge and full of bliss. That is the nature of the soul that's seeing through the eyes, hearing through the ears, tasting through the tongue, thinking through the brain, and loving through the heart. To understand and realize that is the real purpose of human life. This is the universal principle of all the great spiritual traditions throughout history. To understand our own spiritual essence and to recognize that in other living beings and to honor and respect that. In the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna tells, Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya chaduskritam dharma samstapanardaya sambhavami juge juge. That he descends again and again and again in order to annihilate ignorance, reestablish true principles of religion, and to give pleasure to those who love him. 5,000 years ago, Krishna appeared in his original transcendental form. How is it that the source of everything takes birth? This is a common question that people ask. Aham bija pratapita. If God is the father and mother of all living beings, the sarva karana karanam, the cause of all causes, the source of everything, then how can he take birth? This we understand by the saints in the scriptures. That the Lord, Janma karma cha me divyam evam yo veti vatvata. Tyaktva deham punara janma naiti mam eti sorjuna. The Lord's coming into this world is transcendental. Srila Prabhupada gave the analogy of the sun planet. When the sun planet rises in the east, it's not that it is born at that time. It's that it comes into our relative vision. And when the sun planet sets in the west, it's not that the sun is dead. It simply is no longer present to our vision. So the Lord takes birth within this world. The eternal appears to our vision, especially to attract our hearts to the path by which we could know Him and love Him and find that real happiness that we're all seeking. On this day of Janmashtami, there are hundreds and millions of people celebrating the biggest festival of the year in their lives to offer gratitude in a spirit of devotion for Krishna's coming to this world, just to remind us of what we have forgotten. There's a beautiful story which I think is appropriate considering the situation in the world today. Today, in the name of religion, people are so caught up in philosophies and rituals and cultures and languages that the tendency is so much to forget really the purpose behind it all. The real purpose of religion is a transformation of consciousness, a transformation from greed to generosity, from egoism to humility, from vengeance to forgiveness, from agitation to peace, from hate to love. To actually transform our character in the way we live and the way we interact with each other. This all comes about when we actually revive our original transcendental relationship with the absolute truth or with God. When Krishna appeared within this world, He appeared in such a way to really attract our hearts to His intimacy, His sweetness, and His love more than His power and grandeur. He lived as a simple cowherd boy in Vrindavan, very much acting like an ordinary little boy, just to attract our love. Srila Prabhupada gave an example that when somebody approaches God as father or mother, what is the relationship between father and mother and a child? The child is simply taking, and taking from their parent. And the parents are simply giving to their child. So Krishna allows his devotee to be in the role of his parent, where the love of God is so intense, so great, that the intimacy of Krishna's love for us and our love for Krishna covers the power and the grandeur of God. And we could love God as our own child, as our friend, as our lover, which is unconditional and selfless. Once Krishna was with his friends. They were children. And he told these little cowherd boys that nearby there are some Brahmins, some priests, who are performing a very holy ceremony, a ritual to please the Supreme Lord. At this time in the ceremony, they have abundant amounts of food. And we are all very hungry. So go there and ask them, in the name of Balaram and Krishna and all of us, we are very hungry, please give us some food. So these little children, they ran over to where the ritual was being performed, It was a grand ritual. They had prepared for weeks and months to perform this. They were chanting mantras and tantras and yantras and doing pujas and performing mudras. As they were performing the ritual, the little boys came and said, Krishna, our dear friend, he's hungry. He's requesting that you please give him some food. And also, we're hungry too. The Brahmins were so immersed in performing their ceremony that they considered, why should we waste our time with these children? They totally ignored them. The children were very hurt. It's one thing to be rejected, and it's even worse to be totally ignored, as if you do not even exist. So they went back to Krishna, and they told him what happened. Krishna said, don't be sad. After all, this is the way of begging. Sometimes people give and sometimes people do not give. But go to the Brahmins' wives. They're at home. They're simple people. But they love me. Ask them to give some food. So the boys went. But Krishna told them, don't say that I'm hungry. Because if you say that I'm hungry, it will break their hearts. Just tell them that we all want some food. But the boys did it anyway. They said, Krishna's hungry, and we all want food. Can you give? And immediately, these ladies started putting together all the food that they could, filling baskets and pots. They all left their homes. Meanwhile, the husbands, some of their fathers, they said, you cannot leave now. Your husbands are doing rituals. They need your help. Stay. They left and went to the forest. In intense anticipation, because they had never seen Krishna before. While they would do shopping in the bazaars of Vrindavan and Mathura, they would hear people talking about Krishna, hearing about the beauty of his form, the love that he has for his devotees, his wonderful, wonderful pastimes. They completely fell in love with him just by hearing, and were willing to give up everything just to serve him. In the forest, they saw Krishna, who was standing with his friend. He had a beautiful, beautiful complexion like a newly formed monsoon rain cloud. His eyes were like lotus petals. His nose was like a sesame flower. His lips like freshly cut bimba fruits. He had a beautiful garland of wild forest flowers that extended below his knees. His every limb was the essence of all beauty. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna tells how in this world we can be so much infatuated by beautiful people or beautiful things. But even the most beautiful things of this world are only an infinitesimal spark of the supreme splendor of God. One time my Guru Maharaj, Srila Prabhupada, was walking down the shore of the Pacific Ocean. There was a beautiful sunset. And some devotee said to him, isn't this sunset beautiful? And Srila Prabhupada said, yes, but if you think the sunset is beautiful, if you think this art is beautiful, you should see the artist. It is only a reflection of a glimpse of a spark of the beauty of the absolute truth. And that absolute truth, with full beauty, unlimited, inconceivable beauty, from which everything in this world is just a spark, was standing in front of these ladies. They couldn't even close their eyes to blink. They gazed upon Krishna and took the beautiful form of Krishna through their eyes into the core of their hearts and embraced him with all their love. And Krishna, who is situated within the heart of every living being, was embracing them with all his love from within the heart. This is love. Then Krishna spoke. He said, "You have come with such nice offerings. You've risked so much and taken so much trouble just for me. I am so grateful to you. Now please, put all the food down." And Krishna spoke very, very affectionate words of gratitude to them, and then told them, "But now you should return home because you have your duties to your families." The Brahmins, these ladies, they said, it is our heart's ultimate longing to be with you. And finally we have come to you. Please don't send us home. And Krishna said that the true relationship between myself and you and my devotees is not simply in seeing each other. It's in the love of service. I am none different from my name. I am none different from the pastimes that I perform. Simply hear about me, chant about me, remember me, and you will always feel my presence embracing you within your heart of hearts. They went home. They had attained the ultimate perfection of life, of prema bhakti, ecstatic love of God. And when they went home, they were so effulgent with spiritual purity. Their prema, their ecstatic love was shining through their body, shining through their senses, and when their husbands saw them, they realized that our wives, they have attained the ultimate perfection of life. But as for us, we were so caught up with the rituals to please the Lord that we forgot to please the Lord. And they began to condemn themselves. The Bhagavatam tells that they said, "To hell with all of our rituals, to hell with all our philosophy, to hell with all of our followers and our students, to hell with our being great Brahmins and heads of society. The whole purpose of all of these things is to please Krishna." And when the opportunity to please him came, we were so caught up in the rituals to please him that we didn't even try to please him. But our wives, they don't know all of these elaborate ceremonies that we do. But with their simple hearts, they knew how to please Krishna. They have attained perfection, and we are rotting in ignorance. Yes, in the world today, in the name of God, there is so much division and disunity. Some years ago, I was in Mumbai, India, and I was driving at night home from a lecture I was giving. And it was a time when communal riots broke out between Hindus and Muslims. I saw logs blocking the street, cars stopped, windshields broken, people dragged out and stabbed to death because they were from a different religion. I saw houses burning, cars burning, dead bodies, people bloody, running, screaming. In the name of God? Is this what religion is for? This is extreme. Religion is meant to actually see the godliness in every living being. But when we don't understand the purpose of religion, the purpose of bhakti or devotion, it could create hatred and egoism and justify it on an absolute platform. We are chanting God's names. We are performing puja. We are hearing from Srimad Bhagavat, Hari Katha. Other religions may be doing their mass or their prayer, or they may be going to their masjid, or they may be going to their synagogue. We all have our rituals. We all have our particular historical explanations. But is it actually awakening love of God? And the test of love of God is when you water the root of the tree, then the water that you put on the root will go to every part of the tree. If we actually love God, we will be instruments of compassion to every living being. When we understand the essence of our own spiritual system, we will see it in others and appreciate it. Krishna appeared in this world to attract us to the highest level of intimate, ecstatic love with the personality of Godhead. The Brahmins, they were expert in all of the externals, but did not understand the essence. Their wives, they understood the essence and became perfect. And through this teaching, Krishna wanted to reveal to the world, Bhaktya mam abhijanati. It is this unmotivated, unconditional devotion which is the only means by which we can actually understand the Lord. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu explained, Jivera Swarupoi Krishnera Nityadas, that the nature of the soul is we are all eternal servants of Krishna. And in that service, the most intimate truth is revealed, that the Almighty God is conquered by the loving service of his devotees. Krishna's little friends would conquer him by their love. Krishna's mother conquered him by binding him with a rope, just to show the world, I am conquered by the pure love of my devotee. It is to reveal these truths that Krishna descended into this world, to help us to rise above all external egoistic selfishness and greed, and understand that the real treasure, the real pleasure we're seeking is unconditional, unselfish, unmotivated love. And simply by chanting the holy names of the Lord, this mind can be purified and this love can be awakened. It is not different than his name. Whenever we chant Krishna's name with sincere feeling and devotion, with this attitude that we are discussing, Krishna appears. In this sense, every time we invoke Krishna's name, it is Janmashtami. Krishna's manifesting, Krishna's appearing within our heart, within our lives. And when devotees come together to chant the holy names, reveal Krishna to the whole world. This is the beauty of kirtan. It is the process of revealing Krishna, invoking Krishna's presence through this divine sound vibration to everyone. Janmashtami is a time, it's Krishna's birthday. We want to make Krishna happy. And what makes Krishna happy? To love him, to honor and respect all of his children, and to help everyone in this world to realize the love of God that they have forgotten in their hearts. In 1973, on this day of Janmashtami, Radha Gokulananda was invited to be here at Bhaktivedanta Manor. The name Gokulananda means one who gives happiness to all the residents of Gokul, which is where we are today. By the prayer, by the love of a great devotee like Srila Prabhupada, he literally, personally brought Krishna to attract our hearts. And in its honor, we are celebrating Janmashtami in this holy place. And it is so beautiful to see. Over 1,000 devotees have been working, I think from about 6 at night till midnight for the last month, preparing for this wonderful festival. This is the spirit of Janmashtami. No one is getting paid anything. These people, many of them, they work jobs all day, and for a month after work they come, doctors, lawyers, big business people, and they're digging ditches and setting up tents. And today they're helping you park their cars. It's an honor. It's a pleasure to serve. This is the spirit of Janmashtami, to share our love for Krishna with each other through service. Lord Chaitanya, he explained in Chaitanya Charitamrita that when we are actually sincerely chanting the holy names, the result is a spontaneous, natural desire to serve. Trinadapi sunichena taror iba sihishnuna amanina manadena kirtaniya sadahari. With humility, with tolerance, offering all respect to others, not expecting any in return. In this way, we could chant the holy names of the Lord constantly, and this spirit will invoke the understanding that the greatest pleasure of the heart is to serve. Interestingly, all these hundreds and hundreds of devotees, many of you are here now, wait with great anticipation, yearning for Janmashtami to come. To come together by the hundreds every night, giving up our free time, giving up our sleep, to make a wonderful arrangement for the world to come to experience the beauty and the love of Krishna. I thank you very much.